the Great Barrier Reef, an awe-inspiring natural wonder stretching over 1,400 miles along the northeastern coast of Australia, a paradise for lovers, adventurers, and dreamers alike. It's no surprise that newlyweds from around the world choose this iconic destination to celebrate the beginning of their lives together. For Tina and Gabe Watson, a young couple from Alabama, this breathtaking destination was the perfect setting for their honeymoon. Just days after exchanging vows, they embarked on a journey that promised love, adventure, and memories to last a lifetime. But beneath the surface of this picture-perfect love story lay an undercurrent of control, tension, and secrets. What began as a dream honeymoon would soon unravel into a nightmare, one that ended in an unthinkable tragedy. Tina Watson's lifeless body discovered deep beneath the ocean's surface. How did a seemingly ordinary couple's honeymoon turn into a tragedy of international intrigue? Was it a heartbreaking accident, or something far more sinister? Join us as we untangle the lies behind the story of the Honeymoon Killer. Tina Watson was a bright, vivacious young woman with a heart full of love and dreams for the future. Raised in Alabama, she was the apple of her family's eye, a kind soul who never hesitated to put others first. Those who knew her described her as compassionate, spirited, and full of life. She had a promising career ahead of her and a tight-knit circle of family and friends who cherished her deeply. Gabe Watson, on the other hand, was known for his charm and adventurous spirit. An experienced diver, he often spoke of his love for the underwater world and his desire to share that passion with others. Those close to him admired his confidence, but some noticed a different side, one marked by a need for control. Their love story began like many others. Tina and Gabe met in Alabama and quickly fell for each other. Gabe's confidence and charisma swept Tina off her feet, while Tina's warmth and kindness captivated Gabe. But as their relationship progressed, subtle cracks began to appear. Gabe could be a little controlling. He always wanted to make decisions for her, even small things like what she should eat or wear. Tina would brush it off, saying he just cared about her, but it was something we noticed. She loved him so much, but I could see how he tried to control her. I told her to make sure she was happy, truly happy, before walking down the aisle. Their wedding was a joyous occasion, a celebration of love surrounded by friends and family. But beneath the smiles, Tina's loved ones harbored quiet concerns. Was Gabe truly the partner Tina deserved? Or was there more to his charm than met the eye? Little did they know, their concerns would soon take on a devastating significance. The honeymoon that followed would mark the beginning of an international mystery, one that would haunt both families for years to come. On October 22, 2003, Tina and Gabe Watson joined a group of divers heading to the historic Yongala shipwreck. Resting 30 meters below the surface of the Coral Sea, the Yongala is one of the most famous dive sites in the world. But its beauty comes with challenges: strong currents, unpredictable conditions, and depths that demand skill and experience. Tina Watson was a certified diver, but her experience was limited to a handful of shallow dives in calm waters. This was her first deep-sea dive, and the conditions that day were less than ideal. Despite her inexperience, Tina insisted on joining her husband Gabe, an experienced diver with over 50 logged dives. According to Gabe, Tina had expressed excitement about sharing this adventure with him. But what happened next would leave Tina's family and investigators questioning everything. According to Gabe's testimony, the dive started smoothly. The couple descended together, but just minutes later, Tina signaled that she was in trouble. Gabe claimed he tried to assist her, but she panicked, knocking his mask loose in the process. Gabe said he had no choice but to surface for help, leaving Tina alone. When rescuers arrived moments later, they found her body lying motionless on the ocean floor near the edge of the shipwreck, 30 meters below the surface. On board the dive boat, panic quickly spread. Divers and crew members worked frantically to revive Tina, but it was too late. She was pronounced dead on the scene. Gabe's reaction was described as one of shock and despair. He told the crew it had been a tragic accident, that Tina had panicked and sunk too quickly for him to save her. But as investigators began piecing together the details, cracks in his story began to emerge. Tina Watson's tragic death was initially ruled a diving accident, but the circumstances surrounding her final moments raised questions that could not be ignored. The Australian authorities began an investigation to uncover the truth about what happened beneath the waters of the Yongala shipwreck. Investigators spoke to the dive operator and other divers who were present that day. Their accounts painted a picture that conflicted with Gabe Watson's version of events. According to Gabe, Tina had panicked underwater, pulling at his mask and regulator before sinking too quickly for him to save her. He claimed he surfaced to get help, believing the dive crew could rescue her more effectively. But others on the boat described Gabe's behavior as calm, carelessly calm for a man whose wife had just drowned. He wasn't panicked at all. He didn't yell or demand we hurry. He just said something like, "My wife's in trouble," and stayed back while we went down to look for her. Most of us were shocked. If it had been my wife, I'd have been losing my mind. But Gabe, it was like he didn't know how to react, or maybe he didn't want to. The autopsy revealed that Tina's cause of death was drowning, but there were peculiar findings. Bruising on her arms suggested she may have been held or restrained during her final moments. This discovery prompted investigators to dig deeper. Gabe's dive computer provided another crucial piece of evidence. The data contradicted his claim that he had rushed to the surface to seek help. It showed a calm and steady ascent, inconsistent with an emergency situation. This revelation raised serious doubts about Gabe's actions and intentions. Why didn't he make a more frantic attempt to save Tina? And why did his account of the incident seem to shift with each retelling? Gabe's behavior after the incident only deepened the suspicions. While Tina's family mourned her loss, Gabe's actions appeared cold and calculated. Just days after Tina's death, he was seen arguing over insurance paperwork and discussing funeral costs. "We'd just lost our daughter and he was worried about money." It didn't make sense. None of it did. As the evidence mounted, Australian authorities began to suspect that Tina's death was no accident. The case would soon escalate into an international investigation, with shocking revelations to come. In the days following Tina Watson's tragic death, her grieving parents began to uncover unsettling details about her relationship with Gabe. Their suspicions grew as the pieces of a darker narrative started to fall into place. According to Tina's parents, Gabe had suggested that Tina increase her life insurance policy just weeks before their wedding. He even insisted that she make him the sole beneficiary. To her family, it seemed like an odd request, but Tina trusted Gabe and didn't think twice about it. Was this simply a precaution taken by a newlywed couple, or was it something far more sinister? To investigators, the timing of the request raised red flags. Why would a young couple on the cusp of a bright future focus so intently on life insurance? After Tina's death, Gabe returned to the United States, leaving behind unresolved questions in Australia. His demeanor during and after the tragedy raised eyebrows, especially among Tina's grieving family. He acted like nothing had happened. He didn't seem devastated, he didn't even seem sad. We were still trying to process our loss, and he was already moving on. Just days after Tina's funeral, Gabe was seen arguing over insurance payouts. He reportedly expressed frustration over delays in receiving the money, a move that left Tina's family shocked and heartbroken. As Tina's parents struggled to come to terms with her death, Gabe's actions only deepened their suspicions. Why was he so focused on financial matters when he should have been mourning his wife's loss? We always had our doubts about Gabe, but we wanted to believe he loved her. After everything that's happened, we can't help but wonder, was it ever love at all? With a potential financial motive and suspicious behavior mounting against him, authorities began to shift their focus. What began as a tragic accident was now looking more like a calculated act of betrayal. The tragic death of Tina Watson led to legal proceedings that spanned 2 continents and captivated the world. In Australia, Gabe Watson faced charges of manslaughter, accused of failing to fulfill his duty of care as Tina's dive buddy. Gabe Watson's actions, or lack thereof, directly contributed to the death of his wife. As her dive partner, he was responsible for ensuring her safety underwater. Instead, he left her to die. Gabe pled guilty to a lesser charge of negligence, admitting that he failed to adequately assist Tina during the dive. The court sentenced him to just 18 months in prison, a decision that outraged Tina's family and sparked international controversy. For Tina's grieving parents, the sentence felt like a slap on the wrist. They believed Gabe's actions went far beyond negligence. To them, it was murder. "We won't stop fighting for Tina. She deserves justice, real justice. We owe her that much." After serving just 12 months of his 18-month sentence, Gabe was deported to the United States. But his return didn't mark the end of the story. Tina's family, supported by Alabama authorities, pushed for additional charges, determined to hold Gabe accountable. In Alabama, Gabe Watson faced a new charge: capital murder. Prosecutors alleged that Gabe had planned Tina's death in advance, motivated by financial gain and a need for control. This case is unprecedented, an American citizen charged with murder for a crime that occurred overseas. It raises complex questions about jurisdiction and evidence. Throughout the trial, Tina's family remained steadfast, attending every hearing and advocating for their daughter. For them, this was more than a legal battle. It was a fight for Tina's memory. The legal battles over Tina Watson's death would test the limits of justice across two nations. But would they finally bring closure to her family, or leave more questions than answers? Tina Watson's story is one of love, loss, and unanswered questions. What began as a dream honeymoon ended in unimaginable tragedy, leaving a grieving family to search for the truth and justice in the shadows of doubt. For Tina's family, the pain of losing their vibrant daughter will never fade. But their relentless pursuit of justice has ensured that her story will never be forgotten. This case raises haunting questions about the nature of love and control, the thin line between negligence and intent, and the complexities of seeking justice when the answers lie buried in the depths. In the end, Tina's story is a reminder that the truth is often murky, hidden beneath layers of lies, grief, and mystery. But in seeking that truth, we honor her memory and shine a light on the shadows left behind. Thank you for watching this episode of Shadows of Crime. If you're drawn to uncovering the truths behind the world's most chilling mysteries, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, let's keep exploring the shadows of crime.